Hey everybody, welcome to our channel, Lazy K Mountain Homestead. Glad you're here. We are going to make, that's me and you, because Willis is out on the road. Hopefully he'll be home tomorrow. Some more broccoli dishes with the harvest of broccoli that I had, if you saw my other video. And as a matter of fact, this morning I went out there and I got more broccoli. Well, what a blessing is that, right? Okay, so what we're going to make is a broccoli pasta. And what I'm going to use is rigatoni pasta, 3 cups. The recipe will be in the description box if you'd like to try this. This is from scratch. There's other ways to do it that's a little bit faster, but I wanted to show you this. Let me see if I can make this come up a little bit more so I'm not... There we go. Maybe that'll work. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I already pre-cooked my pasta. And I went ahead and went out in the freezer and got one of my broccolis that I put up yesterday. So this is, I guess probably 2 cups of broccoli. You can't really tell because it's squished down with food saver. But I've got that and it's already pre-cooked. So if you're going to use fresh broccoli, you're going to want to pre-cook it. Maybe in there with your pasta, and or if you're going to buy it at the store and it's frozen, you want to go ahead and just use that, but let it thaw out before you go ahead and start the recipe. Okay, so what we're going to do is make a cheese sauce. So I'm going to need a couple tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and get that going. I tried to have everything ready so it's not a super long video because I have another recipe after this one I want to add to this channel. So I'm hoping you guys will like that. So we're just going to go ahead and melt our butter. Get that melted. And what we're going to need, let me just read off the ingredients. We're going to need 3 cups of the pasta, pre-cooked. We've got the broccoli, florets, salt, pepper to taste, 2 tablespoons of butter, minced garlic or 1 garlic clove, chopped, minced, Italian seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, dried thyme, chicken broth. I use this because I like the flavor of it, but if you've got, you know, chicken broth already in the little boxes and stuff or in a can, you can use that. It's no big deal. And this recipe says reduced sodium, and that's what this is. We've got, we don't have any salt in this recipe because we have got Parmesan cheese that has salt in it, and the butter has salt in it, and even though this is reduced salt in the sodium in your chicken broth, it still has salt. So there isn't any salt. We've also got, again, Parmesan cheese. I've got some red pepper flakes. And I've got some lemon, and I've got, which is optional, and some parsley. Let me grab my lemon. So this is a real tasty dish. All right, we've got that. Oh, and I've got a cup of heavy cream. All right, let me get to the instructions here. Okay, we are going to go ahead and melt our butter. And we are going to add our garlic, our minced garlic. And I'm just going to use what I've got in here because it's pretty much what it calls for. And that'll be the end of that minced garlic. I didn't grow any garlic again this year. I actually bought it and actually just forgot to put it out there in a raised bed. I know, shame on me. I don't normally do that. But a lot of things were happening, and I didn't get my garlic in. I love growing the garlic because it's really nice to have handy, fresh garlic. Okay, we're just going to kind of saute that in there. It won't take long because it's finely minced. Okay, and now we are going to add all of our seasonings. Our thyme, our Italian seasoning, and we are going to need let me see here. 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Put that in here. Let me see, this is the thyme. 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. Thyme is so good with everything, and this is actually our thyme. I grew it and ground it up and put it in there. And we're also going to need 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Sounds good already, doesn't it? In addition to the garlic that we already put in here, and it does call for that, so it'll be a little garlicky, but that's always good with Parmesan and cheese. All right, so I've got all those. I'm going to go ahead and mix that around. Yum. It smells really good. I've got this on medium heat so it doesn't burn, because you know garlic can burn really fast. Okay. And then I've also got parsley, and it's calling for just a pinch of parsley and some red pepper flakes. Just a pinch of that. Gives it just a little heat. Okay, let's go ahead and stir that around. Oh boy, it's smelling really good. Okay. Okay, and now we are going to go ahead and season with salt and pepper. Well, I'm not going to put salt in there like I said, but I've got the pepper. And I am going to use my cracked pepper. Let me see where Willis put it. Maybe it's up here. If not, it might be over there at the table. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and put some cracked pepper in here. I like to use this because I feel like it gives pepper flavor. Willis and I are always kind of on the fence about that. I like the coarse pepper. He likes the minced pepper, but I think I'm winning him over. Okay, there we go. Just letting that all saute in there. Oh, it looks so good. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and add the chicken broth. That's 1 cup of chicken broth. You can hear it sizzling in there. All right. Wow. Let's see if you guys can see down in there. If I can get a good picture. There you go. Well, you know, with the black, if this was a metal pan, you can see it better. Okay, let me go and put the lid on that so I don't mess that up. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and let it cook for about 30 seconds, it says. Okay, and then we're going to add the heavy cream. Oh, you guys can smell this. It smells so good. I've got 1 cup of heavy cream. I'm using half and half because that's what I had on hand. And 1 cup of Parmesan cheese grated. Okay, and we are just going to go ahead and stir this until it thickens. Yeah, I think you can see it better now because it's actually white. Oh boy, that smells good. It says it takes about 3 to 5 minutes, and it'll probably come to a boil. Oh yeah, I can already feel it thickening. I might go ahead and grab a whisk just to make sure that my Parmesan cheese is getting nicely incorporated in there. Sometimes it can clump up. With the humidity that we're having right now, with all the rain and the heat, things are clumping up, even with the air conditioners on. Okay, so I'm going to let that simmer until it thickens, about 3 to 5 minutes, and then we will be back. Alrighty, we have got it nice and thickened. You don't want it to really come to a boil, just a nice simmer where you can see the little bubbles but not really come into a hard boil or anything, because you don't want your sauce to break. And when you know it's broken is when it kind of looks like it's got little texture in there. Yeah. Oh, that looks so good. Smells good. Okay, at this point we're going to go ahead and add our pasta. And mine's pre-cooked, of course. It's still warm. This is kind of like macaroni and cheese meets pasta, cheese and broccoli. So we're going to go ahead and just fold that around so all of that yummy cream cheese sauce gets in all those little rigatoni holes. Okay. Now I wanted to tell you, when you've got your pre-cooked broccoli here, al dente, you want to make sure that you've got all the water off of it, because it will make this real soupy and you don't want that. Okay, so I went ahead and put mine in the microwave just to kind of warm it up so I could pat off all of the water. And we're just going to go ahead and put our broccoli in there. It's about 2 cups of broccoli. And you can see how much broccoli that is. You see the water dripping off of that paper towel. Now we're just going to go ahead and kind of fold this around, or toss it around. You don't want to give it a mix. You want to be gentle with this. Doesn't that look good? Oh my goodness. Okay. Trying to make sure everybody is in the pool and covered with all that wonderful sauce. Oh wow. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and add some lemon zest and just a little squeeze of fresh lemon. I wouldn't use bottled lemon because it has a different flavor, but just a little squeeze. That just kind of brightens this dish up. And when you serve it, if you want to have the lemon at the table and just serve it with that, you certainly can do that along with your lemon zest. That's a really nice presentation. Okay, so I'm just going to give it one little more less toss here. Okay, turn it off. It doesn't really have to cook any longer because everything's already cooked. We're going to put it in this dish for serving. Get it out of the pot. That looks really good. Oh, you can smell the lemon. I'm going to get a little bit of that lemon zest that I had left and just kind of sprinkle that over that. And I'm going to put some cracked pepper over that. And there you go. Your pasta with broccoli. Doesn't that look good? So of course I have to try it. I'm going to go ahead and just get a little bit. Let me get a dish here. I was going to try it right out of the bowl because it's just me. But it is kind of rude. Get a couple of these little rigatonis here. And let's give this a try. Oh man. It's so good. The flavors just pop in your mouth. I'm going to put this whole broccoli in my mouth because it's big enough, believe me. Oh my gosh. So good. That is so good. You can taste the lemon in the broccoli especially. I couldn't really taste it in the pasta so much, but in the broccoli it just took right to it. Oh wow. That had some lemon zest on there. Wow. Guys, you gotta try this recipe. Now, what I was gonna tell you, an easier way to do this if you don't have all the ingredients, you don't want to go to all the trouble, but I will tell you, if you go to all the trouble of making this from scratch, you're not going to be disappointed. What you can do is get a jar of Alfredo sauce, a good quality Alfredo sauce. Have that, have your broccoli, have your pasta, already pre-cooked. I would have as many of the herbs as you possibly can that I listed here, and the lemon. Even though it said lemon optional, you need the lemon. Wow, it just brings it to another level. And you just warm up your Alfredo sauce and put in your broccoli and your pasta and all of your herbs. And you can serve it like that too. If you don't have time for scratch, but believe me, this is well worth it. Okay, so our next recipe is coming up. Okay, here we are with our second and last broccoli recipe. This calls for fresh broccoli florets. Now, I've had this before in a tea room where they probably ground this up a little bit, maybe pulsed it in a food processor so it was a little bit smaller. But the florets I have are pretty small. So it's up to you, however you want to use this. The recipe I have calls for the florets. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 5 cups of fresh broccoli in a pretty big bowl because you're going to want to be able to mix it. My hands are clean. Okay, if you find you've got some florets that are a little bit bigger, you do want them bite-sized. So if you've got some that look, maybe they'd be a little bit bigger than bite-sized, like that last bite I took with the pasta. So just want to kind of make them bite-sized. This is a really pretty dish. It's a nice summer dish too. So you'd probably need 2 big heads of broccoli if you bought it at the store. Okay, and it also has a sauce that we're going to put in here. Okay, what we're going to need is, you can either have Vidalia onion that I have with a little green, or you can have a red onion, whatever you like. I like Vidalia. Red to me sometimes is a little strong, but it is pretty. You can have any kind of dried fruit, cranberries, craisins. These are golden raisins. That's what I'm going to use. This is bacon, and it is fried and crumbled, crispy. And this is 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. You can use any kind of nut you want, but you do want that for crunch. So you can use sesame seeds or any kind of seed that you wanted to put in there, or nut. And it also calls for 1 cup of shredded cheddar. And that's exactly what I've got here. This is finely shredded. Putting that in there. Now again, my hands are clean. I'm just going to toss this all together. And you can already see how pretty this salad is just going to be. So pretty. And if you did have your craisins or your red onion, that would even give it a little prettier look. But I'm using what I've got on hand. Okay, now we're going to let that set aside, and we're going to make our sauce. And let me see, what are we going to, I guess I'll make the sauce in this. I've got my 4-cup measure in the dishwasher. Okay, it calls for a 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, and let me see, how much white vinegar? Let me see, 1 and 1.5 tablespoons of white vinegar. If you had red wine vinegar, I think that would be good too. And let me see what else calls for some pepper. And of course I'm going to use the cracked pepper again. Three tablespoons of white sugar. I squeeze the lemon. Making sure you don't have any seeds in there, Denise. I thought I had gotten them all out. Okay. And let me just make sure I got everything. Yep. And a little pinch of salt. And once you've got this all together, you can just go ahead and taste it. And if you need more salt and pepper, you can certainly do that. Let me go ahead and trade for my whisk here. And if you don't have a sour cream, but you've got some Greek yogurt, you can always substitute that for your sour cream. Gives it nice tanginess, sweet, sour. And I am going to go ahead and put some more pepper in here. I can tell I already want that. There we go. All right, and what we're going to do now is just pour it over our broccoli. Our broccoli and all their little friends. And make sure you get all that goodness in there. Okay, now we're just going to kind of fold this in. You want to fold it so everybody is covered. Oh, it looks so good. If you wanted to add some black olives to this, sliced black olives or whole black olives, I think that would taste good too. I make a pasta salad that has a lot of broccoli in it. Of course, it's got pepperoni and all that kind of stuff. It's got the corkscrew pasta. This doesn't have any pasta, and I see I've got a pretty big floret there. Okay. You want to make sure that they're bite-sized, so you don't want to have to cut everything up as you're eating it. But there it is. It looks so good. Okay, let's go ahead and get all this over here in the sink, and we're going to put it in a serving dish. Let me just rinse my hands off really fast. Broccoli is such a versatile vegetable that you can use it so many different things. I mean, this is kind of a sweet savory dish, so you can use it like that. Use it in anything. Summer salads, just really wonderful. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a little taste and make sure it doesn't look sloppy. Presentation is 75% of your meal. That's what I learned in cooking school. And it does. If you're going to try to eat something and it doesn't look good, you're not going to want to eat it. So let me grab a little plate. And a fork. And my spoon. Hope you guys will try these recipes. Oh boy, that looks good. You're probably going to want to chill this before you eat it, but since I just made it, I want to try it. Oh man, it's so good. That mayonnaise sour cream sauce, perfect. Mmm. Wow. That is so good. Wow. Takes a lot of chewing because I want to talk. Well, I hope you guys will give this a try too. It's a really delicious salad. A wonderful side. I usually like to make potato salad and coleslaw, but this is something different, and it's really, really yummy. And I think everybody would like it. If your family loves broccoli, give this a try, especially it's got bacon in it. Everything's better with bacon. Well, listen, have a great day. I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for everybody watching. We'll see you real soon. Bye.